here to give us the lowdown on Fountain of Dreams in Wushan, we like Wushan, is Kani, Chairman and CEO of ECA2, and Emmanuel Carotte, Head of Development at ECA2.
Allez, Madame Carotte, à vous.
Hello. So, I'm very happy to be here tonight to tell you a little bit about this great adventure. We were supposed to be three tonight with Mr. Xu, who is our client. It happens that Mr. Xu is also the mayor of the city of Wuyishan, and due to official governmental obligation, he couldn't make it and has asked us to explain a little bit about the project to all of you tonight. So it's about a nighttime permanent spectacular in the city of Wuyishan in China. So all started almost 3 years ago for me, from a sales and contract perspective. And it happens with a very strange call in the middle of the night with a certain Mr. Li, party secretary of Wuyishan, asking ECA2's team to come immediately on site and discuss with his team on how to create and implement nighttime show immediately for tomorrow. So, as you can see, we took the plane, and it took us almost 2 full days of traveling to get there, because even within China, it's very complicated to reach Wuyishan, which is not the case anymore because they did whatever was necessary. But by then, it took a long time. So, finally, it's not the good one. We reached Wuyishan, and to be honest, once we arrived, we were very astonished by the place. It's a small city, small because it's a city of 200,000 citizens, which is not really a lot in China. It's surrounded by the Wuyi Mountain, one of the most spectacularly beautiful areas of southeastern China. It's located in the Fujian province. Wuyishan Nature Reserve is really well known for its abundance of deep canyons, forests, animals, flora, fauna. It's an idyllic destination for any nature lover, and a UNESCO World Cultural and Natural Heritage Site since almost 16 years, in 1999. Okay. Some leisure context. Wuyishan is a famous summer resort, mainly for Chinese tourists, with tourism mainly driven by tour operators. It is to give those tour operators a full offer, diversified offer of attractions that they call us. They wanted to propose something much more complete by introducing world-class attraction, different from what they already had, different from what is already existing with the nature. And besides, they wanted something to extend the stay of their guests up to 2 to 3 nights. Those are the Wuyishan current attractions. When we came, it was mainly about nature. You can see the Nine Bend River, which is very symbolic and which will be also something we developed during the show. It's about bamboo raft ride. It's about lotus flower on tons of hectares. It's about tea city with ancient architecture. It's about rides and treks into the tea plantations. About night show from film realizator named Zhang Yimou about the tea, because it's a famous region of tea. And now about a multimedia show, outdoor, permanent, theme on water. So with both the development of the touristic attraction and the infrastructure and structure to get to the city, Wuyishan has now increased its potential almost by 20% since 3 years, and is continuously developing the area in terms of new attractions. À toi.
So we're going to go through a bit of a timeline and to see how it started and what was the path to reach the show opening, and how long did it take to do it. At the beginning, it was for tomorrow, okay? Then it was for 3 months after. We see how long it took. A bit more. So it's started with tea. It's a region famous for the tea, and whatever you do in Wuyishan, it starts by tea. You don't even say hello to someone without exchanging a teacup, and then you go to someone's office and you sit and you have tea, and then you leave and then you have tea, and then you do a meeting and then you have liters of tea. So they were speaking about we speed. You know, they say, okay, we at Wuyishan, we are strong, we are speed. I understand why. They are high on tea all day long. And we had a great collaboration, which lasts for at least 2 or 3 years for the overall project. And even for sometimes we were not drinking only tea, but okay. So we had long discussions with the 3 people here. Before was the mayor and governor of the region of Wuyishan, and these are the people, chairman and director of the project, who led the project all along the process. They will say hello to us.
碧水丹山独古怡，九曲美景显神奇。好山好水永不尽，武夷水秀万人迷。Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 我们是来自中国福建武夷山的徐春辉、
郭平、
钟百仪。在这个举世瞩目的美好时刻，首先非常抱歉的向各位说一声 sorry。我们无法到美国与各位共度这个美好的夜晚。
So they seem here a little bit strict, but we had fun all over this time we spent together. Nightbend River was the base. We wanted to do a night show, and the brief was quite clear. We are a region of tea, so you have to speak about tea. To make the tea, we need water. There is water everywhere, so another theme must be the water, okay? And there is rocks everywhere. And under each rock, there is a legend, or there is a tale, or there is a story or name or something. The Jade Maiden Mountain, the King Sword something, they all have names. So we put all this together, and the rock, the tea, and the water, so we would bring together a project for this client. So when we see the mountains, the rivers, we came with a stage design, scenographic design, based on the mountains and the rocks, and which could be transformed all along the show, with water, without water, to be able to symbolize and to represent the Wuyi region, and to help to be the support also for the story. All along 6 months of time duration for this design process, we designed the stage design, and in parallel, we designed also all the story and the content based on this 9-bend river. So we took opportunity of these 9 bends to do a story with 9 main moments, which each moment would be like a fairy tale, and would represent a virtue, a certain virtue. So we had a structure with 9 elements to depict the show, and then we had a beginning and an ending. So we have roughly 11 to 12 moments in the show. We will not run through every sequence and every detail, but it's some names like purity, eternity, harmony, awakening, imagination. And all the show was built around these ideas. And it's through the imagination, through the dream of a local fisherman which would fall asleep and which would be dreaming about these 9-bend rivers, and then he would have some adventures and do 9 encounters in his sleep. Was very busy at that time, and then this would drive us through the show. So we are based in France, they're in China, so we had to move a lot and spend a lot of time with them. Their governmental body, it's the mayor, the tourism legend, the secretary of the party secretary, the mayor, governor. So we had to make things slowly in order to be clear that we wouldn't make some mistakes in the interpretation of what is a dream. Some colors are seen differently. Even the beauty is different. So we developed during the 6 months process all these elements, and then we went back and forth with the client. Say, is this person character representing the beauty? No, we didn't had the same vision of what is the beauty for a person. Is this bird strong, or is this fish frightening or not? The understanding is quite different. So we had to go through this process slowly, I would say, and developing step by step the stage design, supporting of the story, and then the story asking for the stage design to evaluate. And little by little, in this process, we came with final CGI characters, the funny fish, and all the elements. And our final proposal was to build a dedicated amphitheater which would host 2,500 guests, more or less, depending on VIP, not VIP seats, which would be covered to accommodate the rainy seasons and the sun in sometimes, and an overall site based on water and rock elements. But also, we developed characters. We finally worked with cast, and we reached an agreement on having around 70 dancers and acrobats during the show to perform the show, to help the show also unrolling, being understood that, okay, at the beginning, okay, a show tomorrow, in 3 months, in 6 months, whatever, the first draft of a show was about 20 minutes, which we felt was a good format. Then they say, no. If a client is paying, we need to go through a longer show duration. Then we go to 25 minutes, and it was not enough. We finally reached 46 minutes of show. So we had to throw special effects, cast, music, a lot of things together, a lot of work to keep the attention and the focus on the audience for this 46 minutes. And so cast was a tool, a good tool for displaying mass choreographies and colors, but also the use of special effect and technology linked together to make very strong moments in the show. Finally, after this 6 months, we finally reached an agreement on the show, the content, the direction, the stage design, and we started the works, civil works on site. We had a kind of empty place, and we needed to transform it into an area, a theater, a water theater. So we started this in September, and then all along the time, always with tea, of course. Tea break at 10, tea break at 12, at 2, at 4, and a lot of tea. And we also had to struggle with the weather, because the region is very, very green, is very beautiful. There is a reason. It rains a lot. So the works were stopped quite often because of this. And then we went through all the process of construction. We can see here all the elements. Of course, meanwhile we were doing the construction, we were also producing all the contents to match and to try to reach the final moment all together. While we were building and doing the test, we were also trying the choreographies with the cast in a wonderful parking lot, if I remember well. And this is what finally we reached from in about a year of time, finally, between the design moment in end of 2012 to the moment the site was finally built in the end of 2013 and 2014, finally. And this is what is a result of all this hard work, and this is a glimpse of the show. So it was a short video. If you want to see more, 46-minute show, I'll remind you, you have to go there. Wishan, Fujian province, through Beijing or Hong Kong or Shanghai or whatever. It's yes, and I take the high-speed train. So quickly, some technical challenges. At ECA2, we work with water and image since long time now, not to say ages. And we wanted to develop, as we had a beautiful background scenery, we didn't want to have something blocking the view. So we wanted the screen to appear to be transparent and to be magical. And so we worked on the very big water screen. We usually do big screen. This was even bigger. So we had some trouble putting all the things and all the prompts together. One of the biggest challenge maybe was the roof, because we wanted to have the audience covered, but without removing any angle of view from the audience, meaning without poles on any sides and being curved on that side, on that way. It was an engineering challenge. And the first comment from the local builder was, "This is not working. You forgot the poles." Yes, okay. So we had to discuss a bit, and this discussion took 6 months more. just to finally say, no, it's working. You know, it's standing just with the right amount of engineering. And many effects, all was about water. There was water everywhere. The cast was under the water. The flames, the fireworks, everything is under the water permanently during the show. We had some issues to solve with the fireworks and the flames to make it work on a reliable pattern every night, once or twice, depending on the time of the year. Video mapping on all the set. So it was, yes, it's nice to have rocks with a lot of depth and height and everything. And after, when it comes to make a mapping on it, it becomes a bit more complex because there is absolutely nothing flat. There is absolutely nothing on the same plan. There is absolutely nothing which is parallel. So it was also a kind of headache to make all this together. And finally, initially we thought it would be very, very funny to have a giant water cascade. Okay? We can make it. So we said, we made it, but it was complicated because under these rocks, we have rooms for cast, electrical rooms, transformer rooms, lighting, whatever. Every technical room is under this, and I can guarantee that the first time we started to put some water inside, it was rainy, quite rainy inside, which was not the goal. So it took another 6 months, maybe, to make this waterproof and to have this huge amount of water with huge pumps, with a room full of pumps, to make this appear by night like a natural waterfall. And then this is how we went from design to reality. So how the artistic vision from the beginning was still brought to life, even after 6 months or a year or 2 years of development, by the knowledge of the tool and the use of very special effects, media, like the water screen. So we see an image from the artistic project 2 years before, and we see an actual picture, not photoshopped, from the show itself. And we see how accurate this can be from the jets, from the water projection. The real picture seems even fake than the fake one which was done 2 years before. For the first time, we also wanted to include the audience inside the show. Okay, there is not only the cast which can get wet, we can also have the audience getting a bit wet when it's windy. And so we have water coming down from the wall, falling on the center of the audience with jumping jets. And it's very impressive for the audience to be seated, and like in between us, you would see like a jet coming up to the roof here. So it worked pretty well, although we had to modulate it depending on the wind conditions. The first time we had some audience a bit enjoying the water from Wishan. And finally, when we put all this together with a laser, with the video projections, with the fireworks, we reached to have a full flavor of the show, of the elements, and we could bring the full ideas and the full concept from the artistic director to life with a real picture, mixing projection, laser, water, all the effects on all the tools we know, together also with cast, to bring all this show to life and to entertain the people again for 46 minutes.
Yeah. Me again. What can we say as a conclusion? This project took 24 months. It's a wonderful, spectacular show. It has great success in Wishan. They are entering into their second season now. It's a very good balance between cast and technology. Also, a very good balance between modernity and tradition. It gets to the point to offer a much more diversified tourist offer. And it's a THEA for outstanding achievement, and they are very proud about it, as well as us, of course. So,
So, Emmanuel, are you?
谢谢。
and are you?
谢谢.
谢谢. Good. So you've got about 5 minutes for Q&A. Microphone runners, would you just raise your hands? Anybody who's got a question, raise your hand. We'll get to you. What? No questions? Oh, there we go.
Hi there. Over here. Michael Harvey from ThinkWell Group, Technical Manager. I was just curious who you guys used or the client used for vendor support. Were you using local, either within France or US-based vendors, or were there local vendors that you used within China?
So when we're in charge of such a project, we do it on a design and build basis, meaning that ECA2 is holding the whole project for the client on behalf of the client. So we become a general contractor as well as, I would say, general producer. So we would use the technologies from the vendors we find, some of the technologies we own, and some of the technologies we also developed ourselves, although we have no building shops or whatever, but we make contracts and works with our usual partners to do this kind of things. Some elements we could find properly in China were brought from China. For the rest, it was brought from Japan. For the flames, for example, the laser was coming from Germany. All the fountain elements, main fountain elements, were brought from France because we are developing it mainly. So it was this mix. And of course, the team on site for installation, from support, and ongoing support with the client was a full Chinese team.
A couple questions about the storytelling. You said you used local legends. To what degree did you use artistic license, shall we say, to expand or dramatize these stories? And to what degree did you feel an obligation to honor certain storylines or certain sensibilities, particularly because you're dealing not only with a local population, but a population of primarily Chinese tourists who are coming from elsewhere in China who may not be familiar with those stories?
So we almost didn't follow any real story at the end. We took the elements. Oh, this is a rock with this name. Oh, this is a story of a woman with this strength. We took only some part of it, which would appeal to the people who know. But for the people who don't know, we tell 9 small stories of 4 minutes each. And each story is a standalone story. Say, there is a quest for the bravery for the one who beats the dragon and finds the pearl. This was this way that all the stories were developed and redigested from existing tales to our understanding, because we had to translate, and translation, Chinese is not a translated language, it's an interpreted language. So we had to interpret it, then work on it, reinterpret it back. So rewriting was easier.
My name is Jeff Mayer. I'm a design manager. A question we always run into in architecture is leaking roofs. And I'm curious, how does ECA2 do your own detailing and construction specifications and construction documents when you're dealing with waterproofing of structures, or do you deal with
Yes.
other architects, or how does that work?
Yes, we do. We have currently 6 to 7 architects on a daily basis in the office, which are used to this, so which we don't need to re-explain every time that no, we will not put the water elsewhere. We will put the water there. Yes, we will put electrical elements inside it. And so in order to not have to re-explain this, we have our own team for this. And all was concrete, double-layer concrete, with some PVC inside and some conducts in order to avoid this leaking, which at the beginning didn't work very well, but we made it at the end.
Connie, we have time for one more question. There's somebody that's been trying to get something answered is it, that's the guy? There you go.
Hi there. So I was wondering about content-wise. In Chinese folk music, there's a lot of stories that are involved with the individual folk songs. So I was wondering when you were incorporating the musical elements, were there any challenges in trying to align the narrative for the story with the individual folk stories with the music, and if there were any conflicts or anything like that?
Yes, there were many conflicts, but there were small conflicts because, like for the storytelling, we couldn't stick perfectly to existing story. We wouldn't be able to do it. So for the music, we did the same. We had marvelous composers for the music, which worked with us for the last 20 years, maybe, which are very good for this. Philippe Villard and Pascal Langagne, and they know very well about how to mix elements from a different culture. So they took reference from the client, from themselves going to China, to the region, hearing for some elements with local inspiration. And then, like for the storyline, they rewrote all the music without trying to copy or directly integrate any elements. And then we went back and forth with the governor and with the mayor and the party secretary and all the people to get this kind of approval.
But the point was to stay universal also. They wanted something that was different.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Emmanuel and Connie and the Fountain of Dreams.